All right, today we're going to dive into something really cool. It's an ancient system that some people see as, well, as the operating system for the entire universe. It's called Wu Xing, and it's this incredible framework for understanding how literally everything connects, grows, and changes.
I mean, think about it for a second. It's such a fundamental question, right? How does one tiny seed eventually become a whole forest? Or how does a single idea spark a movement that changes the world? Well, it turns out an ancient map of reality might just hold the key.
And that map is Wu Xing. Now here's the first thing you absolutely have to get straight. Wu Xing doesn't mean 5 elements like, physical wood and water you can touch. No, it's really about 5 processes, 5 dynamic energy modes that describe how everything interacts and transforms. It's all about the flow. So what are these 5 core energies that power this entire system? Let's meet them, shall we? Let's break down what they're all about. This table lays it out so clearly. You've got wood, which isn't just a log, it's that explosive energy of growth, like everything you feel in springtime. Then there's fire, which is the absolute peak, pure expression and radiance. Earth is that stable, nurturing center that holds everything together. Metal is all about contracting, refining, kind of like a harvest. And finally, you have water, which represents that deep, quiet potential, that stillness. You can already see how it forms this complete cycle of life, can't you? Okay, so these energies aren't just sitting there on their own, right? They're constantly interacting. First up, let's look at the most famous relationship, the creative cycle, or as I like to call it, the nourishing cycle. This is all about how energy builds and flows forward. And this is such a crucial distinction to make. We are not talking about some factory assembly line here. Think of this cycle as a supportive, natural process, one of nurturing and transformation. One energy mode just gracefully brings forth the next one. And the way this cycle is explained is just beautiful. It's so intuitive. So, picture this. It all starts with water, which nourishes wood and helps it grow. That very same wood then becomes the fuel that feeds a fire. The fire burns down and its ash becomes earth, enriching it. From deep within that earth, we can mine and produce metal. And then, in this final, almost poetic step, that metal can be shaped into a vessel that can hold water. And just like that, the loop is complete. It's a perfect, self-sustaining system.
But think about it. What happens if you just have endless growth with no checks and balances? You get chaos, right? So to create structure, to create actual form, the system needs another cycle. This is the cycle of balance, or as it's often translated, the overcoming cycle.
Right, I know exactly what you're thinking. Overcoming? Controlling? That sounds kind of harsh, doesn't it? Like something is being attacked or defeated. But that's a really common misunderstanding of what's actually going on here. Well, check this out. This is the key insight. This cycle isn't about destruction at all. It's about providing the necessary limits, the constraints, and the structure that allow things to become useful, to become defined. It's the force that gives everything its shape. This is the whole game changer right here. Fire doesn't destroy metal, it forges it. It takes that raw, shapeless ore and, through intense pressure and heat, transforms it into something refined, focused, and useful, like a sword. See? This overcoming is actually a powerful, constructive force of shaping and reform. So when you look at the whole cycle through this lens, everything just clicks into place. Metal, like an axe, doesn't just destroy wood, it prunes it, shaping it into something useful. The wood's roots, in turn, contain the earth, holding it together and preventing erosion. The earth, acting like a riverbank, channels the water, giving it direction and purpose. And finally, water controls fire, keeping its incredible power from spreading into chaos. Every single action provides essential balance and form. Okay, so we've got these 2 big fundamental cycles, the engine of the system, really. Now for the fun part. How does this actually show up in the world around us? From the seasons all the way to our own personalities. Let's start with wood. Its energy is spring, that feeling of being ambitious, kind, benevolent. I just love this core idea of its spirit being flexible growth. That ability to curve and straighten, to bend without breaking as it reaches for the sun. After the growth of wood, we burst into fire, the peak energy of summer. This is all about passion, expression, and propriety. Its spirit is blazing upward, which is just a perfect way to describe pure radiance and reaching your highest point. Now, Earth is really unique.
It's not just one season, it's the stable pivot point between all of them. It stands for integrity, being grounded, being reliable, and its spirit is sowing and reaping, that patient, nurturing act that really makes all the other seasons possible.
So, after that peak of summer, we get metal, the contracting energy of autumn. This is all about righteousness, discipline, and being decisive. Its spirit, following and reforming, just perfectly captures that process of harvesting, of creating structure, and of letting go of what you don't need anymore. And finally, the whole cycle comes to a temporary rest with water, the energy of winter. This represents wisdom, creativity, and flow. Its spirit is soaking downward, this quiet, deep, still energy that holds just immense hidden potential, waiting for the cycle to begin all over again.
So, okay, this is a really fascinating ancient system, right? But what does it have to do with your world right now? Well, it turns out you can map these energy types onto pretty much anything, including modern industries.
I mean, just look at this mapping. Wood, the energy of growth, lines up perfectly with education and agriculture. Metal, all about structure and rules, that's banking and law. Makes sense. But check out fire. Of course, it's technology and entertainment, but it's also metaphysics. The pursuit of consciousness and hidden knowledge is seen as a fire industry. How cool is that?
All right, let's wrap this all up. What are the big things to remember? First and foremost, Wu Xing is a dynamic system of 5 core processes, not just 5 materials. The creation cycle is what nourishes everything, and the balance cycle is what shapes it. And together, they describe this constant, beautiful dance of change that defines our entire universe. And once you see it, you start seeing these patterns everywhere.
And that brings us to a final thought for you to take away. Just look at your own life right now, your job, your mood, maybe even the season outside your window. Which one of these 5 energy modes do you feel most strongly in your life today?